Pull up a stool and pour yourself a pint as you're about to join three intrepid drinkers, Kevin, Justin, and Mark, as they embark on another Beertastic voyage.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beertastic Voyage. My name is Kevin.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Justin.
And today we are going to give a little recap and share some of the interviews with you that we had at this year's Rocky Point Artisanal Brewers Cask Ale Festival.
Oh, how well done, sir.
Yeah, right.
Take one.
Okay, we do it live. But it's one of our favorite events. We went last year. We were really impressed by it, and this year I think held up as well.
Yeah, it was just as much fun, and I remember it. So, thumbs up. No headers into toilets. I'm fantastic. I feel good.
There was no goose shit all over the place. I wasn't freezing my balls off outside eating some cold food.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
We improved our own experience this
Yes.
year by me being a mature adult and everyone else making smarter decisions.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and we also ate at Moe's before we went there.
Yeah.
We did not eat beforehand last year.
We did properly pregame. As one of the most important things I learned at my previous job, my crazy alcoholic chef taught me, the 7 Ps, is proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Yes, and we did not have a piss poor performance.
No.
And neither did anybody at the Cast Festival, actually.
No, I don't think so.
No.
And this year you guys had not one but 2 different beers that were being shared with everybody.
Yes, we did. We made a New England Rye IPA with sumac, RPAB, and Aleppo chilies.
Which
Did I pronounce that correctly, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was getting a disapproval.
I was waiting for you to struggle on her for Biver, and you called that back first, so I was like, all right, he's got this.
I just wait for it. I was actually going to make you say it, but in the moment I decided to be brave and just go for it.
and Mark, what was the other one that you made?
It was a smoked Roggen Braggot.
And that one was with Andrew, right?
Andrew and Danny Andrew from LIBME and Danny, who owns Brew & Beyond in Calverton,
All right.
which we have some of right here in this
Yes.
growler,
Yes, we will be having a little bit of sample of that a little later.
because that did not kick.
No, but you kicked the Ripple one, huh?
Then the Ripa, yeah. There was maybe one class left in that pen.
Yeah, we were so close. I wanted to be the only homebrewers to hold the thing over our head. For those of you that weren't there or haven't been, when the cask kicks, it looks like a little mini keg, and hold it up over your head, and everybody cheers and whatnot. And none of the homebrewers kicked this year, but we were close. We were
I
very
think
close.
only 1 or 2 kicked, period.
I know. Well,
Yeah,
2
At
or
most 3. But
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
about it. There wasn't a ton. But one of the ones that did kick was the Barrage raspberry chocolate beer that they made.
Yes.
What's the name on it there?
I believe it's What a Good Boy or What a Boy, something like that. It is What a Good Boy.
Yeah, what a good boy! And we got a crowler of that.
Yes,
Well,
we'll be sampling that as well to
test
recall it.
But one of the things that I particularly like about that event is the chance to hang out and talk with people, because it is a little bit of a smaller event. You do get a chance to stand around and actually talk with the brewers a little bit, talk with people. It's not just, oh my God, there's 5,000 crazy drunk people that demand I pour them beer right this instant.
No, it's pretty intimate.
Right, and it's not like you get your one sample and then you go get on the line for the next one, because it's going to take you 20 minutes to get it.
Yeah, this one definitely goes much smoother and a much more relaxed pace.
Yes, it definitely does. The my favorite part is that the fact that it's intimate and you're able to talk to the brewers. And my other favorite part is the strange beers. This brings out the strange types of brews and weird adjuncts. And while there were definitely some what I would call simpler and good beers, but What a Good Boy was a great example of one of the crazier out there ideas.
Yeah, there's I'm gonna save it because we're gonna mention a couple of my favorites that I had over the course of the day through the episode. But there was definitely a sense of, hey, let's be a little creative. We're not doing a huge batch. Now, what did you call those? The small casks or the firkins?
Those
No,
are
it's
the
called a
cans.
pin.
I'm sorry, firkins are the big casks.
Correct.
Well,
All right. Bigger.
bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the
Larger.
second to smallest size.
All right, well,
Yeah, it's just in this world, they're the big one.
Yeah.
Basically, there's the small and the big. We're not going. I don't think many people are going to go past the Perkins.
I'm not entirely sure. The next size above Firkin may be butt, but butt may be 2 sizes above Firkin.
You could tell me whatever, and I have absolutely no idea on that one, so I'm not going to fight you. So, guys want to hop into our first interview?
Yeah.
It's with Jamie Partridge. He's the head brewer of Port Jeff Brewing Company, and he tells us a little bit about their offerings for the day and what some of the plans are for Port Jeff Brewing in the near future. So take it away, Jim.
So we're here with Jamie Partridge, head brewer at Port Jeff Brewing Company. How you doing today, Jamie?
Oh, I'm great.
So what you bring down to the festival today?
We brought the Starboard Oatmeal Stout with coffee, local coffee, and vanilla beans.
Nice. Where'd you get the coffee from?
Kings Coast.
So Kings Coast, they're located in, are they around the area? Are they near Port Jeff?
I don't know what town they're in, but their coffee is amazing.
Yeah, I had a sip of that one. I particularly enjoyed it. What was the second one? I saw there was a double IPA you brought?
Yeah, the peer pressure, and we dry hopped it again in the cask with Citra.
Awesome. So how long have you been with Port Jeff Brewing now, Jim?
About six years. I've been head brewer for just over 2 years.
Excellent. Is there anything in particular that you guys are working on right now?
Well, we've got a pretty sweet lineup in the tasting room. You know, it's porter, stout, a few IPAs, a couple wheat beers, things like that. And then we've got some nice sours on too. Not on tap, but in the bottle. So we've got a sour stout. We call it Tarantula. And we've got a sour Belgian golden ale with Brett Brooks called the Lexington. And then somewhere down the line, we've got a couple special things aging in some wine barrels that we'll release when the time is right.
All right. We actually recently did an episode where we took a taste of the Tarantula and the Lexington, and we really enjoyed it. We thought it was a little flat as far as the conditioning was concerned, but as the rest of it, we really enjoyed the flavor. Were you involved in the making of this?
Yeah. All of those beers are a long time coming, like most sour beers. So, and bottling that kind of beer while keeping all the other beers safe from such things is a little challenging. But the Lexington specifically, I think, is one of my favorite sour ales. I'm not a huge sour person. I like sour beers, but I can only drink a little bit. I can drink more Lexington than I can of any other sour beer.
I can understand that completely. When we tried this Lexington, we were like, all right, it's a little bit sour. It's got a little bit of the tartness to it, but it's not going crazy. It was definitely, I think, reserved was the word that we used. When it came to the amount of sour that it was there, we knew that it had a bit of a tartness to it. I think when we tried the Tarantula, we were looking for a little more punch, but all three of us really enjoyed both of those beers. Is there anything that's coming down the pipe soon? Like you mentioned some wine barrel stuff. Is it white wine barrels, red wine barrels? Can you give us a little bit of insight on that?
It's basically a sour English ale in a wine barrel, a white wine barrel specifically, and they should come out pretty well. It's taken some time. We've added some fruit to them, so raspberry and things like that. And but we also have some that are just plain. So we'll have a 4-pack of various things to try.
Okay, so we're talking maybe a 4-pack of future various sour beers coming out?
That's right.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. We're definitely going to make sure we grab some of those.
But it might be a while off. We'll see.
We're not going anywhere. We're not going to stop drinking beer anytime soon. All right, Jamie. So is there anything else today that you went and tried that you found particularly enjoyable?
Well, the Rocky Point Stein beer is incredible. Just the way that they made it and just the malt bill involved is just amazing. The fact that they were able to do that was so cool, and the way that they did it was just incredible. And then the Russian Imperial Stout from Barrier. I'm sorry.
Barrage. Yeah, that one's been getting a lot of talk.
I'm drinking that right now.
There's a lovely young lady on the other side there that's telling us that the Barrage one is the way to go.
Yeah. Such a good beer.
Hold on, she's coming on over here.
The chocolate cherry jelly?
Hello, young lady. What's your name?
My name is Betty Jean.
Hi, Betty Jean. How are you today?
You're
Yes.
the podcast guy.
That's me, and we're recording some of it right now. How are you, Betty Jean?
Oh, very good.
So what's your favorite beer that you've had today?
The Barrage.
The Barrage? That,
The chocolate cherry.
the jelly ring kind of thing that they
Yeah.
made is fantastic.
9.1%. It's delicious.
Is there anything else that's really stuck out to you today?
No, that's my best one.
All right. Not that beautiful New England rye IPA that those two ugly guys at the end of the road made?
Oh, which end of the road? There's a lot of end of the road.
Don't worry about it. I'm teasing you. It's okay. It's all right. Betty Jean, you have a fantastic day.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Pleasure. So, cheers. So, Jamie, thank you so much. I'm going to let you talk to this young lady that's coming to bother you. She looks like she's got some important questions for you. All right.
Your cask is kicked, and they need you to do some lifting.
Oh, shit.
That's how we know it's good. Congratulations, Jamie. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Have a good one, Kev.
Cheers.
So thanks again to Jamie. It was really weird for me to see him in that setting because I've unknowingly known him since high school. Even though we didn't go to the same high school, it was just odd running into him and realizing that we somehow ended up in the same circle again.
Yeah, it's always odd how
So that was
world it brings people back together.
Yeah. And the beer he ended up talking about was from Barrage. Was Who's a Good Boy? What a Good Boy. I'll keep wanting to call it Who's a Good Boy.
I know. We keep saying that's a great name too.
But What a Good Boy, and it's a raspberry Russian Imperial Stout that when I stopped by Barrage earlier in the week, they still had some left over, so I got a crowler of it because why not?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And it comes in at a very light 9.1 ABV.
Yeah, this is the perfect breakfast style beer. Not that we're at breakfast time right now, but you know.
We're after lunch. We're good.
I feel like I'd like to start my day with this.
You know what? It's sweet enough that it could it feels like it could be a substitute for a raspberry donut or something.
Yeah, and I think that as we talked to people at the festival, this was one of the ones where everyone said, what's your favorite beer? This one. This is their favorite. It was a big hit, and I haven't taken another sip yet, but I remember it tasting a lot like a jelly roll, which is also I remember from last year's Cast Festival. Brian from Bellport had a beer that had a similar flavor to it.
He did, except I believe his had the Mexican chocolate in it.
Right.
That was a little bit different.
Well, no, that was he had the jelly ring one, and then he had the Mexican chocolate one.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I thought he took the Mexican chocolate one and then added the raspberry to it to make the jelly ring one, because I thought they were all three kind of built on the same.
No, because one of them,
premise.
from what I remember, one of them was just the stout, and then there was the Mexican chocolate one, and then there was the jelly.
There were definitely three. I can't remember the exact separation.
Oh,
perhaps I'm recalling incorrectly.
If
you really want to know, go back into the archives and
find that out.
re-listen to that episode.
I will put a link to that in the show notes.
There you go. But even from opening the can and pouring out the couple glasses, it smells so much like raspberry.
Yeah.
In our area right now, and the Joya jelly rings is exactly what it really tastes like. What that smell is.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It also coats the inside of the glass. I took a sip and it comes back down, and that's what it does to my tongue and my throat, but in the best possible way. Normally, you want stuff to finish clean. No, this is raspberry flavored motor oil.
Yeah,
it's
that's a really good way to phrase it. And this is an awesome dessert beer. Yeah, this beer you can hang out and have this one at the as you're sitting around having it. I would love to have this and a dish of vanilla ice cream.
Oh man,
pour this on the vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. I wouldn't be against that at all.
Is there any way you could reduce this and make it thicker? If you heated it up, would it ruin it?
I think it would. I think it might kind of make the bitter a little too present.
Right.
Which always happens when you reduce stuff, but
you might also lose some of the raspberry flavor too.
Right.
No, I want to have this in a glass, and I want to have one little scoop of vanilla ice cream that I can take a bite or two of that, have a sip of this, and actually I think the vanilla ice cream would kind of clean off the palate a little bit. Kind of work to clean it off and then come back with this.
Yes.
It'd be a great combo. But I completely agree with everybody on why they thought this was probably the winner of the day.
Yes. I hope that they think about this and maybe make this a little more often. This is fantastic, especially for the winter. I'm warm now.
Yeah.
I was a little chill in Mark's basement, but now I'm all good. So.
Look, We have a Lichtenhainer fermenting over in the corner. We can't let it get too warm.
That's true. That's true. The Lich King is over the corner, so we need to deal with that. I can't pronounce, spell. I have nothing to do with the Lichtenhainer.
Lichtenhainer.
Oh, see, I got nothing.
Can we please call it the Lich King?
I have literally only been calling it.
That's what he's been referring to it as. Yes.
Yeah,
That's so much better.
I know. I feel like we're gonna end up dating it that, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see what it tastes like.
But this is really tasty, and I was very excited to see this on the board when I went there to get a little more of it. Any other thoughts on it from you guys?
I think the short porter is what I want of this, just because I think the raspberry by itself, for me, it just gets to be a little too much. It's a very good beer, but I couldn't drink a full glass of it.
This is the type of beer for me that I can actually drink slowly.
Yeah.
Because of that viscousness, because the flavor stays in my throat. I don't have to keep going. It tastes so good. I have to keep having it.
This falls in the same category as the banana cider that Bobby Po'boy does.
Yes.
Monkey something, I forget. Monkey Business, maybe? I forget exactly the name of it. But it's really good. But it also kind of sickeningly sweet, and wherein if I drink too much of it, it starts to turn my stomach a little. And I feel like, even though this beer is very good, if I drank a whole pint of it, I would end up in that same sort of area where I'm just like, that was really good, but
That was a poor life choice.
That's like every time you go to Cold Stone and they're like, I'm sorry, I couldn't give you the like it, so I put it in a lovely cup. I just gave you too much. And you're like, yeah, but I didn't want diabetes today. I didn't come in and say I want this now. Diabetes. Diabetes, right? Thank you, Wilford Burbling.
Who did that bit with about Cold Stone? Or what comedian? It's like a crackhead. Decided to name the name the size of the. I love it. I gotta have it.
I don't remember.
I recall what you were
I don't know if it was
referring
Chris
to, but
Rock
I don't remember what it was.
or Chappelle or something like that. But
Yeah, I can't remember, but it's very true. Steph and I, my wife, we always go to the Moe's over in Patchogue. There's a Cold Stone next door.
right.
I was like, man, we haven't been to Cold Stone the longest time. And I love sweets, but I just can't go there because I order something, I have 2 spoons of it, and I'm like, okay, that's what I needed right now, but I paid for this, so I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm always so sorry.
But I have a half gallon that I have to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've never, I think I've had Cold Stone, maybe 3 times total, just because it's too rich.
Well,
I can't do it.
I'm not against sweets. And the next interview that we have, the brewer made a really sweet golden ale that he included something a little different into it. And this is from Kyle Shug. He's the head brewer up at Harborhead Brewing. And so take a listen to him, and he's going to tell you about the golden ale that he made that has, I don't think I've ever had a beer with this in it yet.
Hey, I'm Kyle Shug. I'm the head brewer at Harborhead Brewing Company.
Hey, Kyle, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Is this your first year at the Nano Cask Festival?
Yeah, first time. We just got invited last week, so we slammed some stuff in the casks and brought it out.
I think last year you guys weren't even a brewery yet, were you?
Nah, we opened June 3rd, and we just got the tasting room approved last year, so we're moving forward.
Awesome, fantastic. So what beers did you bring down to the festival today?
We have a Swedish Fish Blonde, which is our normal blonde, where we have a bunch of Swedish fish in there. We got some extract in there too. And we have an IPL. It's our new lager we just put out, and we dry hopped with Amarillo hops.
Fantastic. I got to say, I had the Swedish Blonde, and I thought it was a really great job bringing in that kind of cherry Swedish fish flavor to replace the candy sweetness that's normally with a blonde. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, it just, we slammed together last night and hoped for the best, and I think it turned out pretty good.
You put that together just last night?
Yeah. We put it together, I think, around 2 o'clock yesterday.
Shit. I really didn't think it was going to be that quick.
Yeah,
but
this is our first Cask Festival, so, see what happened, and people liked it, so.
No, it's definitely a good beer to start with. Now, I heard you saying something about that. You have actual Swedish fish hanging out in a bag in there?
Yeah, we took just a cheesecloth bag, hung it in there with I would say 8 ounces of Swedish fish, and it's in a 5-gallon thing of blonde with a little extract we made with vodka and Swedish fish, let that steep for about 5 days, and then dumped about an ounce in.
Nice, man. No, it's definitely a tasty
beer. I like it. It's a little bit of change of pace from some of the other heavy dark beers that I've had today. So is there anything going on in Harbor Head that's coming down the pipe soon that we should know about?
Yeah, we're getting ready to open back up in March. We'll probably have more hours. We'll be open Taco Tuesdays most likely, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, possibly Wednesdays for Raw Bar at the Whale's Tail. But we just did a lager for the first time. We did a West Coast. That's new. Got the blonde back. We revamped it, made it a little higher in alcohol, a little sweeter. We got a Belgian dry. Oh, sorry. We got a Belgian dry hopped wit beer, and yeah, we're gonna do New England soon. That's what we got going on.
Okay. Those all of them sound really good. We got a chance to stop by. We had tried a couple of the beers. I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head which ones we had, but we definitely thought you guys were onto something to start off pretty good. So you guys are hitting the ground running. We like that.
Yeah, we got a new consultant in. I'm pretty new to the commercial brewing world. I basically started in June after 3-4 years of home brewing, and yeah, we're moving in the right direction, and we got some good stuff coming up. Hopefully, we'll do a saison in the spring and just move on accordingly.
Okay. So, other than your beers, what's something that you tried today that you really enjoyed?
Steve from Barrage, just his beers are always great. He did an IPL, dry hopped real nice, perfect amount of carbonation in that beer, and he did another beer with jelly rings, the dark chocolate covered jelly rings.
We've had a lot of people talking about that one.
The guy nails it every time. He knows his niche, and he just really executes when he has these events.
Well, that sounds really good, man. And hopefully we get and we had talked about it a little earlier today. Hopefully we get a chance to hang out with you and have a real conversation a little further down the road once the weather warms up.
Yeah, hopefully in June we'll have a good tap lineup. We'll have longer operating hours, and by then we should be like a real brewing company.
Well, it sounds good, man. Best of luck, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Thanks so much, man. Have a nice day.
So thanks again to Kyle. It's always nice to see new brewers getting a little more time, and I'm looking forward to maybe making a trip up there. I didn't get a chance to go last season while they were open, but I think, Justin, you stopped by there to pick up the product from them.
I did. It's the location's actually, I wouldn't call it convenient, but when you do get up there, there's a lot of cool stuff to see. You can go into the town of Northport. Northport. I was right. Town of Northport, and then also potentially stop by Sand City. And then there's a restaurant called The Shack if you want to go.
Well, I would say hold off on stopping by Sand City because as of currently the town has closed the tasting room on them because they are experiencing some difficulties with the zoning laws.
For like the third time.
Yeah, for people lining up to get can releases, and just that the tasting room has kind of become a bar, and they're not set to be that way. They've gotten a couple violations for a number of people in the building there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so all part of success, I suppose.
Yeah, I just think it's frustrating to me because Northport it's one of those towns. It's like it wants to be the quaint little, North Shore village,
right? And
it wants to bring, and it has all these young people that are now going to bring money into your town, and then they're like, but we don't really want your money. We want Judge Smales to come by. We don't really want you to come here.
Yeah, Danny can stay at the lumberyard.
Exactly.
We're not growing the greatest Camify life.
Right in the lumberyard, Danny.
Exactly. So hopefully they'll open up soon. I know as of this morning they had a gigantic line for a can release there today.
Yeah. So that's good. So me being a week behind on the news might have altered things already.
No, they're not. The tasting room itself isn't open, but they're still allowed to
do the can
release.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, they get around that by they have a rear entrance to the building.
Okay.
So that's why you always see at the back Scudder Avenue entrance.
Yeah.
They're also doing a can release at Hoptron next weekend.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So our second beer that we're going to have here today is the Roggenbragen that you guys made.
Yeah.
And that one was that the one with Andrew?
Yeah, with Andrew Luberto of LABME and Denny Conception from Brew and Beyond. And this is the one that you may have seen a while back, pictures of my smoker. That, we smoked 5 pounds of rye with oak scraps from Justin's wood shop. And we only used 3 pounds of the smoked in the beer, but it has a really nice smoky sweetness to it still.
Yeah, when you take a sip, it's because it's a brag. It means it has honey in it. I'm not sure what percentage gets you from, or how much you have to put in to make it a braggot versus just having honey in a beer. Maybe Mark knows.
There's not a defined percentage, but it's more so like according to the BJCP, it's like how prominent the honey character is.
Okay.
Like if it's the honey character is there prominently in balance with the malt and hops, then it would be a braggot. If it's just adding fermentable sugars and like there's really not much perceptible impact of the honey after the fact, then it would just be like alternative sugar beer.
Right. I mean, the honey. I mean, it's definitely a braggot thing because the honey is, for me, it's the most prominent characteristic, and then you get a good amount of the smoke to sort of balance the sweetness.
The thing that got me the first time I tasted it was the smoke, but now trying it the second time is the texture of it. It almost has that. It tastes very light to begin with, almost like a thin, almost like kind of water mouth feel, and then it feels like you kind of mixed in a mead with it, where you get a little bit of the syrupy sweetness of it with it.
The syrupiness, I think, is just from all of the rye.
Well, whatever it comes from, but that's just like what it's coming into my head while I taste it.
How it's playing.
Yeah, that it tastes thin first, and then it kind of swirls in of this other flavor, which I find really entertaining.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and this is it's been in a growler. Andrew's nice enough to pull some out of the cask and put it in a big 64-ounce growler for us.
Yeah, so the carbonation is definitely not what it was at the festival,
Agreed.
but I'm still enjoying it.
I like it more. The carbonation, I think, gave me more of the flavors, which I like them. I like them the way they play together now at a little bit of a lesser level than there. There was a lot more banana for me at the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the banana ester is definitely not present anymore, or nearly as present, because I remember when you were taking a whiff of it, I was hopping it at the show because I love that banana ester. But I also think the smoke flavor has kind of mellowed out a little bit. It doesn't seem, maybe it was just the carbonation that was providing it more to me, but now it doesn't quite seem as overwhelming to me as it did at the show.
Right. No, I agree. I like it better now. I liked it then. It just, I don't know what it was. It was really funny. A lot of people came up and said that it was very good. They really enjoyed it, especially some of the members at LIBME. And I was kind of like, yeah, it's all right. But now I'm appreciating it a little bit more now.
Yeah, I remember you weren't super stoked about it.
No, but I thought it was really interesting. It just wasn't something I wanted to have a lot of. It was a lot of fun to make, especially brewing on the Grainfather in the back of there. And
that was kind of a disaster.
I can't help but give a shout out to someone who may or may not be listening to it, John from I don't remember his last name, but he comes to the bottle share at Brew and Beyond. He's an older gentleman that I enjoy making fun of, and in all in good jest. I think we enjoy each other. But he actually helped too. He was in the back with us for a little while because none of us, including Danny, had ever used a Grainfather.
The technical assistance.
Okay, yeah. So what is a Grainfather? I don't know what that is.
It's an all-in-one brewing system where it's like self-contained pot that you can then pull the top up to sparge. It has its own basket. It's an electric brewing system, and it has a chiller built into it.
It's like the kettles that we have, except it's like more over-engineered.
Okay, sounds good to me.
And maxes out at 5 gallons.
Yes, we didn't know.
That sounds good.
We didn't know when we were chilling it. John wasn't there, and the instructions tell you when you're chilling the wort to run it right into the fermenter. But it sounded weird because it's going to chill it all the way down right away like that. So we just kept recycling it into the same place.
Yeah.
Except the temperature never went down.
It wasn't dropping.
Okay.
It turns out, I guess the digital probe for some reason wasn't telling us what the temperature was because when we took the laser gun and shot the outside of it, it was 50 degrees. It way chilled it.
Yeah.
So it could have just went right in, but it was a little bit of a disaster. But the whole process was fun, and the beer in the end, I think, is
that's insanely fast.
One of the most interesting concoctions of stuff put together that I've tasted.
Yeah. The only thing that rivaled the nut jobbiness of this was our are these berries poisonous New England style rye IPA.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. I think we have another episode of one of our favorite people coming up.
Yeah, we have one more interview. Actually, I believe he was one of our first road interviews.
Oh, for sure.
Is Brian from Bellport Brewing, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on with his hunt for a location, and some of the beers that he brought to the show, which talk about raspberry flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, raspberry flavor was super prominent in his beer. And just what else is going on with Bellport. And then when we come back, we'll explore the No Ripa.
We're here again back at the Nano Cask Festival this year with Brian from Bellport Brewing again. How you doing this year, Brian?
Doing awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to talk to you again. It's been I feel like it's been a whole year. I think last year this time is when we first got to talk.
Yeah, I think it's been a full year now. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
So, any news in the industry? What's going on? How's the event coming on? I can't do that. It's fucking killing me.
I mean, really.
It's fucking killing me. Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks a lot. All right.
He's gonna keep doing it.
All right, Steve's gonna go put some penis in his mouth, and then we're gonna step over here so we can continue this. All right. Steve, take the penis out of your mouth. Go finish your beer. Penis. Anyway, so how's the brewery coming along? Any news? Are we getting closer?
Yeah, so we're getting a lot closer. I mean, I feel like I've been saying this for how many years now, but you know, for every spot that we've seen 5 spots that just don't seem like they're going to work. And you know, I've read stories about a good friend of mine, Paul from Blind Bad, and he's just been having nothing but problems finding a spot. And I feel like I'm in the same boat. And I feel like if it's not a perfect spot and it's not going to work perfectly, it's just not going to be my home. And that's been my biggest problem right now. We just haven't found like home yet. We've seen a lot of spots, but not a home yet.
It's a big investment and a big step forward to be committing to one location. So I think you're better off making sure that you have this right spot rather than just to get into any spot there. So
Completely agree. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about the 2 beers that you brought this year.
Yeah. So we made a milk stout, and it's a coffee milk stout with coffee from Tend in Shirley. It was the coolest experience in the world because we were able to make our own flavor of coffee, and it was fantastic. We sat down with them, and they decided, what do you want in there? You want a little bit of roasty, a little bit of smoky, or whatever it may be. And we did it. They made that kind of coffee in there, and it worked out great. So that was the coffee that went into the stout. There's a ton of lactose in there, and with the 2 of them, it made great. It was a perfect coffee milk stout that we combined. So what we brought with us here is we took that beer and we added fresh raspberries, chocolate, some marzipan, a little bit of almond and vanilla, and we turned that into a cookie, a rainbow cookie, and we've gotten some awesome reviews about it. It came out fantastic. We're real happy with it. And the other beer, what is on your hand, dude? I swear to God, what did you just? I mean, did you just wipe your ass?
Mojito.
So thank you. So the other one was a cherry mojito, and a good friend of mine, Tim, helped me with that recipe, and he's helped me in the past with other beers here.
Listen, if Steve gets any closer to you, he's going to owe you dinner.
Man, I think I'm pregnant now. I think he got me pregnant. So, yeah, so so a friend of mine, Tim, is a chef, and I owe him everything with the cherry mojito. So the cherry mojito was very cool. It was a flavor that I've never had before. I've had mojitos, I've had cherries, obviously, but this is a coffee milk stout. And when you think about like the citrus in a mojito, like the lemon and the lime, when they are introduced in a tea environment with milk, it's instant curdle. I mean, that's what curdle. It's just going to curdle. It didn't for some reason. I mean, it's lactose powder as opposed to actual milk that's going in there, but it didn't do that. It came out fantastic. The flavors were great. They bursted out, and if it was served the right way, which I hope it was, you would get the flavor of the beer and then the backbone of a little bit of coffee and some chocolate and the stout that it should have been afterwards.
Well, I had a chance to try both the rainbow cookie and the mojito one. I really enjoyed the nice cherry bite that came with the mojito one. It had a little bit of tang in there that I thought was tasty, but the rainbow cookie definitely brought me back to my aunt's favorite cookies that she used to make.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was a little chewy. but the flavor was absolutely on point.
Yeah, so I listen, the one thing I won't do is I hate artificial, and I know sometimes the only way to get around doing it is artificial, but if I was going to make something so drastic like a rainbow cookie, it was going to be all natural. I mean, these raspberries could not be any more fresh. Everything that we had was literally made for this recipe and pureed. The best way to do it was to do it the way we did it. We knew it was going to be a problem with chunks in a beer, and it wasn't meant for people to have full glasses, even though people came coming back for full glasses. It was meant for you to taste it and understand what it's about and what the flavors are, and really go with it from that. Then dump. I mean, there's a quarter of an inch of sediment on the bottom of everybody's beer, but they keep drinking it. But I don't know.
Nah, it was. I think exactly what you're saying. It's that it's good for a small sample of it. I mean, I wouldn't change how I got the flavor. I would just maybe run it through some cheesecloth, and that would be all I want. But the flavor is absolutely on point. So what's next for Bellport? Is there anything soon that we should be looking for in bottles coming out soon?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot more with bottles. And as I'm talking here, I do want to introduce Dan. Dan is a partner in Bellport Brewing Company as well. And,
hi, Dan. How you doing?
A little bit about
how's it going, buddy? How's it going?
You want to? Can we do a quick little burst about Brew and Beyond?
Absolutely. Hey, Dan, how are you today?
We're doing great. Brew and Beyond is for home brewers, where if you love craft beer, you want to brew it, you come to Brew and Beyond, and we're here to guide you through the process.
Awesome. Where are you located, Dan?
Calverton.
Okay. Calverton's a little bit of a bigger area. Do we have a road? Do we have an address or anything like that?
Well, it's a middle country road, but we might be changing locations in the near future.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. I know Justin on the podcast is a big fan of your shop. I know he stops by, lets his little rugrat runner.
Big? Do you need big like?
I mean that he's a fat ass, but also that he purchases a bunch of product from you.
Okay. He's very big. Yes, I agree.
He's not gonna deny that either. So, Dan, what's been your favorite beer that you've had here today?
That's tough. Oh, wow. I think St. James.
Yeah, the Beer de Noël that they made is a really good quad, and I think Jamie always makes some really high quality stuff.
Yes, I totally agree. I think that's my favorite at this point. Yes.
Outstanding. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. Is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners real quick?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we're doing right now is we will be in a spot this year. That is a promise that we've made ourselves, that if we're not in a building, then we may think about calling it quits, and I hope that doesn't come to that. But, in order to make it in this business, you have to have a location where people can come and get your beer, and that's our biggest thing right now. So look for a lot more bottles, a lot more cans, everything else to get the name out there, and we'll be opening soon for everybody else.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Brian. And Dan, right? Dan, is there anything else that you need to let us know about?
God bless America.
Outstanding. Thank you guys so much, all right? Go back, have one more, warm back up. I'm sorry I've kept you out in the cold so long. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
All right, and thanks again to Brian for our last interview of the day, and I hope you guys enjoy checking out the interviews that we do with the brewers. It's one of my personal favorites parts of doing this show.
Yeah, for sure. The ability to have someone actually talk on a microphone with you and have a straight face and actually give a shit about talking to us is really cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, Steve did not give a shit that we were talking to people on a microphone.
No, he
so he was a little too infatuated with penises.
And you probably should have taken a little tip from the beer name. What a good boy! A bit more of a good boy to us.
I think he did take the tip there. That's the point. Maybe a little bit more.
That's all right. I still appreciate it.
He still makes magical beers,
and he also still ended up on the microphone. So
that's true.
It's another person that really wanted to talk to us on a microphone.
True. And I believe you also heard Danny in there from Brew and Beyond.
Yes,
he was hanging out with us outside, and eventually he got to the point where I just had to shut the microphone in his face.
Good.
So, lastly, I want to touch on the RPAB that you guys made, which might have been, for me, might have been the best tasting, ugliest beer I've ever had.
Oh my god!
It definitely was not a liquor.
No, it was not a pretty color.
It
really
was
wasn't.
Soylent Grey.
It was.
It really did look like Soylent.
Yeah, it was really fucked up.
It was a rough looking color.
The number of times I poured for someone, I said, just don't look at it. Just throw it in your mouth.
Yeah. While I was hanging out and I was pouring some while you guys were wandering around, I would tell people, I'm just like, it's not pretty, but it tastes fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
I in my time pouring it out for people, like a lot of people did take a picture of the side to remember what they had. And I also had an awkward conversation with an older woman, and she was like, "Oh, so where are you guys based out of?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh, where are you?" I'm like, "This is the Brewers East End Revival Homebrew Club." She's like, "Oh, I'm a member of beer."
Oh, that's funny. I thought it was just one of those standard, where can I buy? Because I definitely did that with LIBME when we went to the Nassau Coliseum Festival a long time ago before we even thought about doing this.
Was that the one where we decided to play Frisbee in the park? We should have played Frisbee in the parking lot, but we just sat around eating pretzels?
Yes, we made the right decision there. Yeah. But yes, when we went, because they had some sort of jalapeno spicy beer, and I was like, "Oh my god, where can I buy this?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you told me you can't." In fact, it's actually even gone now. We kicked that keg. It will never exist again. I was so confused.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We were at the Brewers East End Revival table with that. It was nice to have people come up and especially come back and go, "Yeah, it does look weird, but can I have another pint?"
Yeah.
I thought I've mentioned it numerous times before. I like the New England IPAs. The rye adds a nice character base to it. The little bit of spiciness that you got from the RPAB.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I've ever said those words out loud, so I couldn't tell you.
I just pretend I'm having a stroke and it comes out.
But it just created a really nice balance between a little bit of spiciness and then you had the juiciness to balance it out. And I think if we could clear it up just a little bit, or just never
make it look yellow,
or just never serve it in a glass, it'd be great.
Opaque cups only.
Yeah, solo cups only.
I was thinking about why it happened and why that color happened. I think it might, again, it wasn't in the cask forever, but I think there might have been some oxidation that occurred that caused that color.
I didn't taste oxidation may be part of it, but I think it's more. I think it might just be more the rye itself that we put in there. I've never seen anybody else do New England rye IPA.
No, I haven't either. That's one of the reasons why when you initially said it, I was like, huh. Although, I mean, to be fair, every single time that Mark and I discuss brewing beer, Mark's like, so how much rye we put in there? Hence the sack of rye. We had to buy a second sack of rye.
Right. This is our second sack of rye.
There's a 25 kilo sack of rye in the corner.
Our second sack of rye in, 6 months?
Yeah, pretty
8
much.
months tops?
Exactly. So, obviously, we're putting rye in it, clearly. But
no, I don't know enough about the brewing process for it to say whether or not it was the rye that created it, but man, the flavor was there, and that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, and the sumac, the acidity from the sumac berries definitely played into
that was a nice balance
perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my other favorite part of the day was when people were like, sumac, oh, where'd you get the sumac? Like, well, my brewing partner, he walked around his office in Plainview and picked out the sumac, and they're like, yeah, that's why the name of the beer is, are these berries poisonous? We were originally going to call it Taste Like Burning, from the
Ralph Wiggum
Wiggum reference, but I almost always say the other one with the glasses.
Millhouse?
Millhouse, yeah. For some reason I say Millhouse, but it's obviously it's not. But anyway, we were going to call it that.
But I bet my Wookiee.
I was worried that people may think it was going to be hot, spicy, which it definitely wasn't. It just gave it enough character to really round out the sweetness.
You had like a pleasant, warming sensation in your throat.
Yeah, I wish we had more of it, which is why now for the Lich King, which we're brewing for the Blue Point Cask Fest, we today brewed 15 gallons or so of it, roughly.
Maybe we've got like 14.
Right. So the reason is we're filling the Firkin because I'm dumb and I signed up to do 10 gallons. And then we're going to have 4 gallons of bottle on top of that. So this way,
well, like 3-ish gallons because we probably put 11 in the Firkin.
Yeah, we're going to fill that bad boy up. But
Load her up.
So yeah, we'll let you guys know how that turns out, and either way, hopefully we'll see everybody April 21st at the next Cast Festival. Actually, that'll be the third one. There's another one at Millhouse, right?
The Road Millhouse in West Hampton Beach. That's a charity event. That,
Yes.
Benefits. I forget the name of the camp out there in Cinnamon Ranches.
Right.
But that's a good event as well. That happens on April 7th. So if you live out that way, definitely look into it.
Yes, we'll have more information as it gets closer. I'm sure we'll share that out.
Well, speaking of sharing, to wrap things up, I want to share with you towards the end of the day at the festival, I just kind of started shoving the microphone in everybody's face to see if they would share what their favorite beers were and what they thought about some of the beers, of course, today, and just kind of generally talking to random people. So we're going to send you off with those random person's thoughts. And if you were at the festival and you had something that you particularly enjoyed, please shoot us an email, give us a call, somehow get in touch with us, let us know what your favorite beer of the day was, and if there's one that we didn't talk about, what was it? Why did you enjoy it so much? Tell us. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
All right, then. Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Hi, what's your name? What's been your favorite beer today?
My favorite beer was the Sand City Deliciousness.
I don't think I know that name of it. Can you tell us a little more about it?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was delicious.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Did you have a good time today?
I did.
Excellent. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, what's your guys' name? What's been your favorite beer today?
I'm Talbot.
I'm Patrick.
What's been your favorite beers today, gang?
I think my favorite beer was the double IPA.
Microphone, please. I can't hear you.
Sorry. My favorite one was the double IPA with fruit. And it was some brewery. But
From Port Jeff?
Huh?
From Port Jeff?
Not Port Jeff. It was further back.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to keep looking. How about you, Dan?
Is it the same double IPA that was my favorite that you take it? The one in this middle table.
Okay, from the middle table. That sounds pretty good. It was so good you guys couldn't remember the name?
We've had a lot of it. It makes
That's
it hard.
okay. I understand how that works. Thank you guys so much. Have you had a good time today?
Oh, it's been wonderful.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Excellent.
I've been here for the past 5 years. So.
Oh, great. I was here last year. It's my first year. So when I came back this year, I was like, I have to come. I knew I had to come back.
No, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool.
Awesome. Guys, you have a wonderful day. Cheers.
Huh?
Have a wonderful day. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Jack.
Hi, Jack. You're the famed Jack of sharing beers with us, right?
Yes.
Jack, what's been your favorite beer today?
Alcohol.
Alcohol is fantastic, but what's been really your favorite beer that you went and tried?
Are these berries poisonous?
I think that one's pretty good, but the guys that made it are real assholes. Don't you agree?
I agree.
Thank you, Jack. I hope you have a safe trip home.
You too.
Hi, what's your name?
Laura.
Laura, nice to meet you. What's your favorite beer from today?
I am really in love with the berry poisonous over here.
Yeah, that one's been pretty good. Who's this gentleman with you?
My fiance.
Hi, fiance. What's your name?
My name's Russ.
Hi, Russ. What's been your favorite beer you had today?
There's so many good ones. I don't pick a favorite. I like to drink a variety.
Okay. So if you had to pick one that you went back for at least the second time, what would that be? Anything in particular?
Not one in particular.
Okay. But it's a nice event, right?
This event's the best event I've ever been to. It's not overcrowded. There's not a bunch of people here that just want to pound beers. It's about the beers itself. It's a great venue.
Well, thanks for coming down, guys. Cheers and congratulations. Hope you guys enjoy the wedding soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
If you enjoyed Beertastic Voyage, please be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to review and rate us. The guys can be found online at www.beertasticvoyage.com, on Facebook at www.facebook.com/beertasticvoyage, and Twitter and Instagram at Beertastic Show, or send them a good old-fashioned email at beertasticvoyage@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers for local beers.